Hi everyone. Today we are going to talk about the importance of investing in Airbnb properties. Today we have Jess Rahman. She's working as Airbnb property management and buying Airbnb properties. Jess Rahman, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Now, thank you, Sudesh, for allowing me the opportunity to come and be with you to discuss this. I know we have discussed this outside the recording. So I think Airbnb, in my opinion, Airbnb is a great investment. It provides very good cash flow. I
Yeah.
have experienced this myself. With the in I'm always engaged in the industry, and 2025, it's still, I know there's a lot of negativity around Airbnb, but Airbnb is still a good investment in
Okay.
2025 and beyond, as the data shows.
Okay. So how much rental returns we can expect? When we are buying a normal investment property for long term, we are expecting 5 to 6% or 4.556% rental yield. So if we are going through Airbnb properties, how much rental yield we can expect?
Okay. Well, it can go up to 10%,
Wow.
but I don't always share that because your rental yield will depend on how much money you have borrowed. It varies from different person, but for to give you number, in my for my clients, what we saw that doing different investments, it's either 2 to 300 more per year average.
So which means you are saying that if we have an ideal Airbnb property, one
Mm.
property, we can earn 100 or 200K per year. Is that correct? 100K?
Uh, so I'm saying no, that's not what I'm saying. And I'm saying if it's a rented normal long-term rental is 500.
Mhm.
With Airbnb, you can achieve up to 800.
Okay, so we can expect 50% more, like
Yes,
more than
half.
50%. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'll be very conservative because it also depends on area and data and the market trends.
okay, so can we expect a continuous tenant in this property? Like, Airbnb, there is a seasonal business. Some places it will be seasonal, right? Can we expect a continuous flow with the tenants? How can we manage that?
Good question. Lot of seasonal and changes happens in Airbnb. So the new term of this is occupancy rate. That is where how much it's occupied. So some of the state that we will talk about, probably Sydney. Sydney is very touristy. People love coming to Sydney. So some key area around Sydney is always occupied. Um, uh, but it depends on, like, the Vivid in Sydney, the fireworks, New Year fireworks. So this another city would be Melbourne. So Melbourne is very there's a lot of sports, even Formula One, then
Yeah,
the
cricket.
test
Yeah. Mm.
crickets, a lot of concerts, very high time from Melbourne. Brisbane, Gold Coast is also very demanding because a lot of people have moved to that area, or they're very touristy because of the beaches and the lifestyle of Gold Coast, Brisbane. Another area that is very famous and will be quite occupied is Byron Bay. So it's
Ah,
all seasonal. Tourists wants to go there. So it is most of the time over 70% occupancy.
okay. So
That's
we can
except
say, yeah, that is evergreen place. Like it is not seasonal, but more 70% will be occupied.
occupied. And you can achieve that return just with 70% occupancy.
Okay. So you already mentioned the which of the best city to invest as
Hmm.
Airbnb properties, which is great. And another important question, when we consider an Airbnb property, what kind of specification you prefer? Like, is it studio apartment or 3 bedroom or 2 bedroom? What is the preference for Airbnb properties?
It depends on the area.
Hmm.
So there are area that is high occupancy. If there's a farmhouse in a country where people just go with a couple of families
Yeah.
on a weekend, school holidays, that also have, for that area, that is demanding. I
Okay.
don't think a one bedroom in a country place will not grow.
Yeah.
City is similar. There's a lot of people. City one bedroom is very demanding because there are people that just wanna work from home and go to other city, and it's only allowed two people. It's not a party place.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Yes, and then when there is events, seasonal, bigger houses get rent. So it depend on research and data to see that what area has been good in
Yep.
those area, what is working.
Okay.
Um, and you use a different database for that. So it's particular to see. But one bedroom in certain city location, always a winner.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So, you mentioned that the database. So for Airbnb, for the normal properties, we have the option to find what is the vacancy rate in certain area. But
Hmm.
similar to that, is there any option to know which city or which place is more suitable for Airbnb? Is there any database for that to get
There,
that?
yes, the database is AirDNA, so everybody can have
Okay.
a no, you don't have to pay for it. You can
Okay.
just open an
That's
account
good.
in Airbnb and DNA and look at some areas if it's you want to do some research. So it's available to everybody.
What are the biggest challenges when someone buying an Airbnb property?
Well, because so the first of is legislation.
Hmm.
So the legislation changes. So as of, in fact, 1st of January 2025, Melbourne has changed the legislation. They are the Airbnb owner have to pay a Airbnb levy. I think it's 7.5%, right?
Really? Okay.
So what happens as an investor if you have that? So that's a legislation change that's impact seasonal, like COVID. We have seen COVID. No Airbnb was successful because people was not traveling. So any sort of travel impact, legislation change, um, operational change that will impact Airbnb, the occupancy rate. This is a change outside your control, and also challenges is the pricing. When you set up rental for the area, you lock in the price, forget about it. Airbnb to become successful in Airbnb because there are so many Airbnb, listing.
Hmm.
Pricing is very important, and the
Yep.
pricing have the in re, what I mean by pricing is the pricing has to be monitored and adjusted depending on if it's a
Agreed.
Taylor Swift concert, you
Yeah.
have to change
Mm.
that on the demand,
Increase the price. Yes.
increase
Yes.
the pricing, and someone has to work on it. It also, so another one would be challenges, the operation challenge. You have to know how the pricing is
Hmm.
done in the background and adjusted to be successful and positively run well. Another thing would be operational challenges, that you have cleaners, you are working, all of a sudden they don't want to work anymore. It's having a shop and your staff, the cleaners and everybody is the same. So
Okay.
that's one of the challenges.
That is okay. And another thing, for the normal properties, we can assign a property manager.
Hmm.
So many of the in NSW the percentage is different. In Queensland, it is 6%, 7%, Melbourne 8%. So everywhere the property management fees is different for normal properties. So what about Airbnb property? What is the property management fees?
So it's also different.
Mhm.
It's not different, and it's also different in area. Some regional area far would be a bit higher at location, but the percentage is much higher than the normal rent because you might have five people, 5 time cleaning, 5 time
Ah,
management in
yeah.
1 month,
Mhm.
or you could have 20.
Yeah.
So the management fee is always higher. So it depends on between 10 to 30%.
Okay. Okay.
One of the top companies in Australia, they charge higher, some compared to someone is starting. But I haven't seen 10% very much. It was years ago, but now, yeah, between 10 to 15%, depending on,
10 to 15.
sorry, 10 to 30, my
10 to
mistake.
30. Okay. So your company is dealing Airbnb property management, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, if someone is interested for Airbnb property management, they can contact you, right? So you
Yeah,
can,
sure.
yeah,
Yes,
okay, that's good.
definitely. Yeah.
And my next question is, how much does it cost to set up an Airbnb property? If someone want to start the process, first of all, they can buy a property. Then, how much will be the initial setup cost for an Airbnb property for a small bedroom, 1 or 2 bedroom
One
apartment?
bedroom. So
Yes.
one bedroom will start from 8 to 10,000,
Okay.
depending on the quality of the furniture. Like
Yeah.
where you want to shop at IKEA, Kmart,
Mhm.
Mix. If you want to have a luxurious, then you're looking more than 10,000. So 8 to 10,000 for one
Yeah.
bedroom.
Mhm.
Uh, 12 to 14,000 for 2 bedroom.
So which means we need to provide all the necessary things like washing machine,
It comes with everything. So
everything.
in our company, we it's everything. So it white goods,
Mhm.
which is your
Yeah.
TV, fridge, and microwave, all that. White goods, all furniture for decoration,
Mhm.
wall arts,
Yep.
plants,
Yeah.
all the kitchenware that's necessary.
So my next question is it better to self-manage? Like if someone has any their property near to their city,
Mm.
if they want to do the Airbnb, can they manage by themselves? What are the things they need to consider if they are doing management by themselves?
So everybody start at some point. We all
Mhm.
started at something. So the management is the pricing would be key. So they need to manage the pricing with software. Airbnb doesn't provide that. You have to buy additional software to do the pricing,
Yeah.
which have algorithm that runs what city is going through each week and changes prices. Plus, sometimes that needs monitoring. You can't just like I'll just set it up and it goes. It's no. So you have to know all that.
Yeah.
Second thing, the if it's close to the city, they want to do it. That's fine. Also, they just need
Yeah.
to go design it themselves. They they have to have access to good photographer that take photos.
Mhm.
Even if they're expert in iPhone photography, they can do that as well.
Yeah.
It's fine. If someone's passion is photography, why not? And second thing is that they're also going to get really busy with communication. So all the text messages come through the Airbnb app.
Mm. Yeah.
They have to guide the clients, make sure the client's checking in any issue. They
Yeah.
always have to be ready, and that's just going to take a bit. If they
Okay.
have the time, that's just where the time need to be
Okay.
spent, and
You know,
organize cleaners as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's, it's some people will be comfortable with that, but many of them are not comfortable to do organize all these things. It
Yeah.
depends.
If you're managing that yourself, you will manage that pricing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Airbnb suggests pricing, but they don't
Ah,
change the pricing in your ad. So
ah,
when you have booking, they are not upgrading the pricing. You have to understand the pricing from somewhere and update that on Airbnb. So you do that. So that comes from seasonal reason, like that month probably busy. Like you will see if the same house you book it in December
mm,
and book it in August, it completely two different price
okay.
because of the demand. School holidays would be a different time.
So which means if you are assign a property manager, they
Mm,
will control the price.
correct. Yes.
So which
Yes.
means we can get more benefit out of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's this, it's just a stress, becomes stress free.
Okay. And if it is a good location, if the more season is there, there is option to get more percentage of rental returns.
Yes. Correct.
We covered most of the questions which I prepared.
Mhm.
And if someone want to buy an Airbnb property,
Yes.
what they need to do? How can they do it?
So when people came in to buy Airbnb property, I just want to understand their goals, what they
Mm,
want to do, and show them both ways. Like we have two ways to buy Airbnb property. One is completely for cash flow, and
mhm,
one is capital growth plus Airbnb,
mhm.
because they can, like if it's in an area, they can use both. You can use on their holidays, or take a break from life and go into the Airbnb. So you can add my details, and they can give me a call or contact us for that to have further conversation, or reach out to you. You can connect
That would be
us.
really great. So I have one more question. The thing is, um, I had a meeting with one of my client, and this is a question he asked. Like, if we are going for a bank loan to buy a
Mm,
property, for a
mhm.
normal property, we are expecting consistent rental income. Expect that consistent rental income, right?
Only for first 2 years.
Only for first 2 years.
Yes. So after 2 years, the
Mm.
bank will take the average of last 2 years.
So which means if someone is new to this industry, it is not advisable, because if they want to buy multiple properties, this is not the good starting point. Do you agree with me?
Yes, and but what they can use? Suppose they can use the normal rental estimate.
Hmm.
So the bank can use anything that the if the person would have given a long-term rental, they will use take that rent, but they will not take the Airbnb income for the first 2 years.
So which means ideally this is not suitable for a person who is first buying an investment property. If
Correct.
some, right? So
I
it's,
would
yeah,
I would like, for first in couple of investment, I always say go for capital growth because if you're
exactly.
growing a portfolio, it's nice to have a balanced portfolio, capital growth and Airbnb. But as we growing, we should
Yeah.
definitely focus on capital growth.
Important thing, many people they are thinking that how they can buy their first investment property as Airbnb, then they can get more cash flow. That is wrong concept. So the
Mhm.
people need to, everyone financial situation is different, and everyone need to follow the right strategy. So
Mhm.
this strategy is not for everyone. This strategy is for those who gain certain capital, certain profile, and if they are planning to build more, then they can consider Airbnb. It is
Hmm.
not ideal for those who are entering to the real estate investment first.
Well,
It is
I
not
have
good.
not done it
Yeah,
for my own portfolio. It did with capital growth first. Then I decided to go on Airbnb.
exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. Thank you, Jess, for
No
your
worries.
time. And the information was very helpful. Many of my clients can, this will be helpful for them to take decision. Many
Absolutely.
people are thinking about Airbnb. They don't know what are the things need to consider, whom to approach. So if anyone is watching this video and if you are thinking about Airbnb, you can talk to Jess. She will help you to secure your Airbnb property in the right location.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. Very, very helpful.